We're kind of talking about a bunch of stuff. Previously, we were talking about fucking building teams and how like you really don't know what you're getting into when you start out as a young musician. We're all just like wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, like literally, and wide-eyed's fucking the term. You don't think it is at first. You're like, no, that's not me.
No.
But then like you look at your past self and you're like, Jesus,
no.
was I ever wide-eyed? But I mean, that's kind of what I say this every podcast, but that's what this is about. It's just like for people like us when we were younger, for people of all ages, but at the end of the day, when we were like starting our careers and just being like, what do I do? I wish I had more direction. So don't get me wrong, I love my experience in the bars and it's gotten me a lot of really good gigs and stuff. But I kind of wish I could have spent a little less time at it. And I wish I realized, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I was just doing my best effort at it. Same thing you guys were saying, just like playing at the levee. We're like, this is what we do. We're just trying to build a fan base. We're playing gigs. That's what bands do. Yeah. And so, going through all that and, just talking about how we've been balancing our lives and stuff. And so it kind of leads into, the thing everyone also deals with once they get this far with it is just like the mental health around the whole subject, where it's just like, do you find having to deal with all that extra stuff like takes away from your creativity in a sense, or do you like it because you're like, I love the visuals, like that really inspires me and makes me want to write more, or like I want to be inspired by our album cover, say? Like, how do you guys like approach those things? Do you just let Aaron go kind of thing, or
typically like we've come to like realize that people work best when they're left to their own devices.
Absolutely.
Especially creative people.
Yeah.
There's some people that you work with that are like, you just got to be not hounding them, but like just reassuring and just coming back and having that consistent conversation going. But like when it comes to creative people, like, with Stephen Green, who did our video, and
shout out Stephen Green.
Yeah. And Brad Tuck, who edited it and all that stuff.
Shout out Brad Tuck.
You got to do it. Fairgale, got to shout out to everybody.
Shout out Fairgale.
Yeah. So with those guys, like it was like we let them pick the location and we let them shoot it the way they want to shoot it because we knew what the music was going to sound like and we knew what we were going to look like dressed up, but then how that aesthetically worked with the background, like I think it looks super.
No, I think it looks dope.
Super tight. Like,
those mics you guys use too, like
ETLs. Shout out ETLs.
Shout out ETLs. Yeah, no, they just look so good in the shots. Like it's just perfect with the aesthetic, and you guys are rocking the dress. It almost like looks like an older style too, like so it's just like
suspenders and
it's just nice. Got a rustic feel.
Right.
Ooh, rustic. You guys are so rustic.
Americana. That's where
you guys are so Americana.
Hashtag.
Now I'm thinking about russet fries.
Hashtag Americana.
Hashtag Americana. Hashtag fucking. What was Raz supposed to put on the screen?
Einstein's helmet.
Hashtag Einstein's helmet. Yeah.
But all I was gonna add was like, it's the same as if someone asked us to do a cover, right? Mm-hmm. So like you're kind of telling the artist what to do.
Ooh, that's a good example.
Yeah, right. Like it is fun sometimes to take something that someone already created or that they want, and you put your own spin on it.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure even if we had a direction for Aaron, for example, like our graphic designer, even if we had a direction.
Oh, we did
sort of.
Yeah.
It's almost like a small amount of parameters. Then it's like you do you after that.
Yeah, because
we want one or two little things, and then you do you.
Right. Because I feel like it would be the same as when we do a cover. It would still be our version of a cover, but it's so much better if we just do our version of.
Rather than someone being
what we would
make
do
that
naturally.
heavier. Make that
make
less.
it sound exactly like this original. I'm like, but the original already exists.
Yeah.
Why do I want to do that again?
Yeah.
It's already there.
Especially when you're recording a cover and something like that versus like playing one in a bar like verbatim all the time.
Yeah. And that's the same thing when we get like a full band, because sometimes like for the most part it's just us, especially when we tour, because again it's expensive.
Yeah.
But when we do get a full band, we like to do that with our band too. Like we're like, this is the songs we want you to play, but you don't have to follow what's on the album. Like you can make up your own part that fits.
That's what makes
like,
for good bootlegs. I know bootleg isn't necessarily, like, you know what I mean? Bootlegs are bootlegs, but at the end of the day, that's why people go to shows. Like, man, it's different.
Right, it's different,
It's the same, but different. It's like, I know what to expect, but there's going to be a little tidbit. There might be a fucking 16-bar guitar solo. Maybe not.
Sax solo.
Or sax solo.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, just like guitar for an example. But at the end of the day, it could be or it could be like some crazy. If you had a bunch of singers on stage, it could be some crazy vocal thing. Like
Yeah.
Sure.
those moments are why people go to the show. That's when they're like getting a drink because they're like, I know this song, and then they turn around like, wait, no, I didn't know this
I don't
was
know
going down.
this version of
Yeah.
the song.
Yeah,
And then people are not like held into it either. Because like if you're a hired person for the band and you're trying to think of exactly what you learned or exactly what's supposed to fit instead of just being like feeling it too and like doing what's natural. I don't know. It's always worked really for us that way. So we try to give everyone their creative freedom.
And I think, like at the end of the day, like we kind of say up front, it's like, is it cool if we have like the null and void final say? But as a result of that, like we rarely ever are like,
you really need to do it.
Exactly, right?
It's just like, I'm happy with this.
We're upfront about that, just so it's not like a thing at the end of everything,
Yeah, you can't have too many cooks in the kitchen either.
Exactly.
You need someone to be like, cool, we're done. Like, but at the end, like the buck does stop at you. But at the end of the day, it's like, you guys do you still. Like we picked you to be here for a reason.
Exactly.
Right. And most musicians I think know how to lend to the song. Like they're never usually like overpowering or like trying to do stuff that doesn't work. Like I think that most of them know the music well enough or like know music well enough to just add their own spin.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Versus like, Buzz, stop, I'm putting a drum solo in here.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right over your vocals.
Yeah, I'm putting a drum solo in Hope. Like, let's go.
Right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I got a huge drum kit. It's gonna be nuts, man. I got like 15 toms.
I'm so excited.
I
actually want to hear that, but
the
drum solo version of fucking Hope.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cool.